There's a lady you shoot, all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven.
Here's what the mainstream missed in the 1970s. While everyone was headbanging to Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, these hard rock albums were creating history in basement studios and forgotten venues. A band that recorded one album and vanished, a pressing worth $15,000 today, and a sound that was 30 years ahead of its time. These are 20 forgotten hard rock albums from the 1970s that only true experts know. And the bonus, it's the rarest hard rock album ever made. Crank it up. This set's about to melt your face. Number 1. Truth and Janey, No Rest for the Wicked. Released in 1976 from Springfield, Missouri, only 1,000 copies were pressed. This power trio delivered raw, unfiltered hard rock that makes Motorhead sound polished. Original vinyl now sells for $2,000 minimum. The band played 50 shows total, recorded this masterpiece in 3 days, and disappeared into the Midwest forever. Why didn't radio touch it? Too heavy, too real, too dangerous for 1976 airwaves. Number 2. Bloodrock. Bloodrock 2. While everyone remembers their hit DOA, this 1971 follow-up is the real masterpiece. Track 4, Children's Heritage, is 7 minutes of pure doom-laden intensity that predated doom metal by a decade. Capitol Records buried it because radio stations refused to play anything this dark. Original pressings with the rare gatefold sleeve command $800. The band's heaviest moment, forgotten in the shadow of their only hit. Number 3. Bang, Death of a Country. Produced by Frank Ferrara in 1971, this is the album Zeppelin wishes they'd made. 3-piece power that rivals anything from the era. But Capitol shelved proper promotion after the label merger. Only 500 promotional copies made it to radio stations. Those promos? $3,000 each now. The full album didn't see proper release until 2003. 32 years in the vault because some executive thought it was too American for rock. Number 4. Lucifer's Friend. Lucifer's Friend. German hard rock from 1970 that sounds like it came from 1990. 8-minute opener, Ride the Sky features Hammond organ that crushes like a freight train. Original German pressing on Philips, $1,500. The band went progressive later, but this debut is pure, uncut heavy metal before the term existed. Pink Floyd meets Black Sabbath in a dark alley, and this is what walks out. Number 5. Dust. Heart Attack. 1972 New York City hard rock that was too punk for metal and too metal for punk. Marky Ramone's first band, before he became a legend. The riff on Pull Away So Many Times influenced entire generations of stoner rock bands who never knew it existed. Original Kama Sutra label pressing, $600 and climbing. Only 300 copies documented in collector databases. Number 6. Tsar. 1970 British heavy prog that EMI gave up on after 2 weeks. The title track is 11 minutes of controlled chaos that makes Deep Purple sound tame. Only 500 copies pressed before EMI pulled the plug and destroyed the remaining inventory. Those 500, scattered across Europe, worth £2,000 each. The band's only album, recorded in 4 days, buried in 5. Number 7. High Tide. Sea Shanties. 1969 proto-doom from London that nobody understood at the time. Tony Hill's guitar work on Feudalist Lament predicted every doom band that came after. Liberty Records pressed 1,000 copies for the UK market. Original mono pressing, $1,800. The stereo version was even rarer, only 200 copies. This album taught Black Sabbath how to be heavy. Number 8. Wicked Lady. The Axeman Cometh. 1972 UK hard rock that makes the Stones sound like a covers band. Private pressing, no label. 500 copies sold at gigs. The 15-minute title track is guitar wizardry that Eric Clapton studied religiously. Original pressing commands £5,000 because most copies got played to death. Only 12 known mint copies exist in the world. Number 10. Toad. Swiss hard rock from 1971 that got lost in international distribution chaos. Produced by Martin Birch before he worked with Iron Maiden, this album has production that was 10 years ahead. Original Swiss pressing, 4,000 Swiss francs, approximately $4,500. The band split up during the album's release week due to a management dispute. Perfect album, perfectly timed disaster. Hey, pretty wild so far, right? If you're enjoying this deep dive into the 1970s forgotten hard rock treasures, hit that subscribe button. Because in a minute, we hit number 11 through 15, including a band that played one show and quit, an album worth more than a used car, and a sound that launched an entire genre nobody remembers. Trust me, it only gets heavier from here. Number 11. Granicus. Cleveland hard rock from 1973 that RCA Records forgot to promote. The 9-minute epic You're in America is Hendrix-level guitar work that radio programmers called too complex. 800 copies pressed initially, RCA destroyed remaining stock when the band's tour got canceled. Those 800 originals, $1,200 each. The master tapes were lost in a warehouse fire in 1989. Number 12, Fraction, minus Moonblood, 1971 hard rock that anticipated the new wave of British heavy metal by a decade. Track 3, Gypsy Queen, features double kick drumming that wouldn't become standard until the 80s. Decca pressed 600 copies, pulled it after week 1 because it was too aggressive. Those 600 copies, spread across Europe, worth £1,500 each. 3 band members died in a tour bus accident in 1972. The album became their only legacy. Number 13, Cometh, First Utterance, 1971 British progressive hard rock that was banned by multiple radio stations for being too disturbing. Pi Records pressed 1,000 copies, recalled 800 after complaints. Those 200 that survived, £3,000 minimum. Mark Bolan called it the scariest album ever made. Current doom and folk metal bands worship this album, but most have never heard an original pressing. The recalled copies were supposedly destroyed, but rumors persist of a warehouse stash in Manchester. Number 14, Josephus, Dead Man, Texas hard rock from 1970, that makes ZZ Top sound like a folk trio. Crazy Man features guitar tones so thick they could stop a train. Original Hooker Records pressing, 700 copies, $5,000 each. The band recorded it in a Houston warehouse, with equipment borrowed from a local studio. Most copies were seized by the FBI during a drug raid at the pressing plant. Seriously, the heaviest album law enforcement ever confiscated. Number 15, Buffalo Volcanic Rock, Australian hard rock from 1973, that Vertigo Records released only in Australia. Dave Tice's guitar work influenced Eddie Van Halen, who studied bootleg tapes religiously. Original Australian pressing? 2,800 Australian dollars, roughly 2,000 US. Only 400 copies made it to international markets through import shops. Most Australian copies stayed in Australia, making this the ultimate down-under collector's piece. Why no global release? Vertigo thought nobody wants Australian hard rock. Before we hit the bonus album that only 5 people have ever held in their hands, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We drop new forgotten music mysteries every week, and you won't want to miss what we're uncovering next from the vaults of rock history. Number 16, Leafhound, Growers of Mushroom, 1971 British hard rock that Decca buried immediately after release. Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi called the guitar tone on Freelance Fiend impossibly heavy for 1971. Original Decca pressing? 1,000 copies, £2,200 each. The band's only album before they split over musical differences. Underground doom bands discovered it in the 90s and made it legendary. Most original copies are in Japanese collections now. Number 17, Frigid Pink, Defrosted, 1970 hard rock from Detroit that Parrot Records somehow managed to make disappear despite decent sales. Their cover of House of the Rising Sun went top 10, but this album? 500 promotional copies, then nothing. Parrot went bankrupt during the release week. Those promos command $1,800 because the full release never happened. American hard rock's most expensive, almost famous moment. Number 18, Iron Claw, Scottish hard rock from 1970 that was decades ahead of stoner rock. Skull Crusher is 8 minutes of riff worship that Sleep clearly studied. Original Gemini Records pressing? 300 copies for Scotland only, £3,000 each. The rest of the 1,000-copy pressing was destroyed in a label dispute. Band members threw the warehouse keys into the River Clyde in protest. Those 300 survivors are Scottish hard rock's holy grail. Number 19, Truth and Janey, Eruption.
Wait, didn't we already cover Truth and Janey? This is their second album from 1977, even rarer than the first. 400 copies pressed, most sold at one record shop in Springfield. That shop burned down in 1978 with approximately 300 copies inside. The surviving 100 originals, $4,000 each. This might be hard rock's most literally fire-tested collectible. The shop owner saved 15 copies, which he still won't sell. Number 20, Jerusalem, Swedish hard rock from 1972 that makes Pentagram sound mainstream. Recorded in a church basement, which you can hear in the unholy reverb on every track. Original Swedish pressing on Alm Records, 250 copies, $6,000 each. The religious imagery got it banned from most Swedish record shops. The band was actually a Christian rock group trying to reach metal fans, but both sides rejected them. Too holy for headbangers, too heavy for church. Only 20 copies documented in collector databases worldwide. Bonus album, Zior, 1971 British hard rock that exists in legend more than reality. Nepenthe Records pressed exactly 100 copies for the UK market, all hand-numbered. Why so few? The band insisted on complete creative control, and the label agreed to a test pressing that became the only pressing. The album combines heavy blues with psychedelic mysticism in a way that sounds impossibly modern. Original numbered copy today? £15,000 if you can find one. Most reside in private collections that never see daylight. The last documented sale was in 2015 for £12,000 to an anonymous German collector. Track 5, Zeor, is considered by underground hard rock historians as one of the most influential recordings nobody's heard. The band played exactly one concert at the Marky Club in London, refused to play any other venues, and disbanded immediately after. Why only one show? Legend says they believed their music was too powerful for regular touring. The master tapes? Lost when Nepenthe Records folded in 1973. Those 100 numbered copies are the only evidence this masterpiece existed. If you own number 47, the one with the misprint sleeve, congrats, you have the rarest. That sleeve error makes it worth £25,000. One copy is rumored to be in Jack White's collection, but he's never confirmed it. If you consider yourself a true hard rock expert, drop a like and subscribe for more forgotten treasures from the 70s. Tell us in the comments which of these 20 albums you've actually heard of, or better yet, which one you own and what number it is. Thanks for watching, and remember, the heaviest albums are the ones history tried to bury, but we're digging them up, one forgotten masterpiece at a time. Keep it loud, keep it heavy, keep it forgotten.